What up players, Warboss back up in this mode. Today we finish our Empire Engineer. This is what he looks like, painted up in the city-state of Nuln colors of black and red. So I take you through it, the highlighting, the dry brushing of the jacket, really simple, really easy beginner stuff, and yeah, I hope you guys like it, hope you guys enjoy it, maybe get some inspiration, and we'll see you in the next video. I see you. Right, so we're back and we're gonna get started finishing our Empire Engineer from Nuln. So look how the washes have really given him some great definition to the colors. Look at the Caribou Crimson there and the reds. I love that Nuln has, you know, black and red, or black really with the red accent color, because you can really use that Caribou Crimson to really pop out that color. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint up the base, and I'm using my regular base method, which is, first I used wait, is it? Oh, I thought it was right here. Oh yeah, my Carradine Granite to cover all of it. And then I let it dry for a little while, and now I'm going to be painting on Calton Brown as a, you know, a kind of a dry brush sort of way. And don't worry about, you know, if you get anything on any of the tools or instrumentation, because we're going to be painting all of that as well. That's why we're painting the ground first, so that if you make any mistakes and get any of it on all of his measuring tools that he has, then you can fix it right up. So after the Calton Brown, you're going to grab your Khemri Brown. We're going to use this next. Kind of hard to get at because of all of the instruments, but don't worry, just keep at it. And before we do the next one, we're gonna use our Khemri Brown and paint the rim of the base as well. Now this is only if you're not using, or if you are using a cork stand like I am. What I find that does is, you know, really nicely hold it in place if you're using it with the poster tack like I do. If you're not, if you're holding your model by hand like this, then you probably don't want to paint the sides of the rim yet, because I know when I started, I used to hold the models on the base, the edges of the base when I painted back in the good old days, and it was tough, and that's why I couldn't do it anymore. My hand started shaking crazily. I started getting like cramps in my hand from holding it at this position for a long time. It was just hard to keep doing. So we're gonna let that dry. While that's drying, the top should be dry now. So we're going to paint a little bit of either Deneb Stone, bleached bone, or any of the new equivalents. Just very light, kind of stabbing the color to dry brush it on, because we can't really dry brush it because of the instruments. So we're just kind of doing what we can. Now we're going to get to painting the instruments. So I'm going to take my chainmail, because we've got a kind of a brown looking base with all the dirt colors, all the brown colors. We're going with our silver. We're going with the silver color to paint the instruments. So all the compasses and whatnot. painting it with chainmail. for whatever the new chainmail is that I don't have. Sorry, it's weird. It's weird holding it from this angle. So my fluff for this guy, if you haven't seen my little rant in the previous How to Paint an Engineer video, is that he is one of the senior professors at the Imperial Engineering School in Nuln, which is why he's wearing the state colors. And unfortunately he's very vocal about having some kind of public education system for the poorer people in the city, and that's not going well. That's not going over well with the Countess. So she sends him off to war. She's kind of hoping he won't get back. But being a teacher, that kind of speaks to me, you know. Okay, so while I've got the chainmail on my brush, I'm also going to be highlighting edges, or one section of the model. So when I want to hold the model like this, I want to see the shine off the front, so I'm going to be highlighting the front, just kind of really lightly brushing my metal on my chainmail metal color. When I'm holding it from this angle, I'm highlighting over here so that this part will shine to whoever's holding it from the front. So, highlighting it from here, from this side over here in the front, and also getting the little cannonball at the bottom, then highlighting over here. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. He already looks pretty good. We could really easily just put him on the table like this, but we're gonna work out some of the other fine details, like the candle, for example. We're gonna paint in bleached bone. So yeah, I love when you have, like, especially when you've got heroes, but you could do it for any unit in your army. You could have some kind of fluffy backstory that will motivate you to get him on the field, like, and then if this guy happens to suffer some sort of horrible quote-unquote accident while manning the guns, if there's a miscast, then he could blame it, if he survives, he could blame it on the Countess of Nuln, Emanuelle von Leibowitz, trying to kill him and make it look like an accident. Or it could be an accident. It could be the work of a spy. Maybe he could be wrong. Maybe she doesn't, maybe he just thinks that the Countess is out to get him and he's a paranoid old man. But I think that's a fun way to play the game. Have backstories for all of the guys in your army. I mean, that's why people love these games, because of the stories. So we're gonna take our Chemi Brown now, and we're gonna do almost like a dry brush with this, but we're gonna be highlighting up this guy's coat now. So I'm getting some paint on the edge of my brush, and I'm gonna wipe off most of it. And then I'm just gonna start looking for the places on the coat, this leather coat, that I wanna bring the color back up on. So like here, like here. Pretty simple, right? Just like this, going all the way around. And then if you get too much on it, or if it looks too garish, if you put too much wash and this just looks like too much of a light highlighting job, then it's no problem to just go back over with your Agrax Earthshade and darken this boy right back down to what he was. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in focus. Igor, focus. Yes, master. So you can see I'm just kind of lightly dry brushing both sides, getting that Chemi Brown color back on. Okay, to me that looks a little bit cloudy, a little bit too dusty, as it were, so I'm going to do a last application of the Agrax Earthshade, not as thick as the first time, but just enough to water, thin down the harsh edges. Get rid of that dusty look. Nobody likes dusty. There. Looks pretty nice, I think. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to really lightly highlight up the skin. Talon flesh we're going to start with. And we're going to be working on the parts that are closest to the light, which is here, the knuckles of his hand, the knuckles of his other hand. Oh yeah, I scraped off the mold line which were on across his knuckles on the front. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I had to scrape it off. And his nose and his cheek. Okay, so there you have it, players. Really quick, simple, and easy paint scheme for your guy. I kind of like the way that the boots look, kind of dirty and oily, and the cloak, his greatcoat kind of follows that. But yeah, there's not really much more to do with him. The shadows from all of the highlighting and the washing really look nice, I think. So let me know what you think. Would you highlight up any more? Would you do any more? I think there is one thing we can do now that I look at it. We could do highlight of Dawn Stone, which is like the new Codex Gray. Okay, so I forgot to erase all the clips on my camera, so I ran out of recording time while I was halfway through filming, like 5 minutes in to this next section, so unfortunate. But let me show you what I did and you can recreate the effect. I used some, oh, that's not it. Where is it? Dawn Stone in a really thin layer on my brush. And I wiped off most of the color on my hand and on a napkin nearby, and I just painted up where the light reflected off the piece. So like right here, all the way down the forearm. Oh my. And if this gets too bright, then you can just go back over with some black wash, but for me that looks pretty cool. It's like, you know, kind of reflective and shows the material kind of stretching. And I'm not painting the eyes because I feel like, you know, he would be squinting his left eye shut to look through either the telescope or the Hochland long rifle anyways, so I'm not going to do that. What I did do was I took some chainmail and I painted the rims of his helmets that I felt would kind of be shiny. So let me show you, like on the back of his hat, helmet thing here, just do a really light feathering and kind of stick to the edges, the lines of the metal, the gold brace. And yeah, that's what I did on the front. You can also do it on the rings of his Saturn hat. So stupid. And on his magnifying glass thing here. That should look really nice. As for the magnifying glass, we're just going to recreate what we did for the actual telescope with the zoom lens. I can't find my Northern Blue. Oh, here it is. Not Northern Blue, Talador Sky. Talador Sky is your base. You're just using the exact same color, so I'm gonna just go through it really quickly. And you're just gonna be painting up the edge and the top little magnifying lens with that. And then on the bottom one, we're going to use Teclis Blue. And just do a really small, easy little smidge of color. Boop! Right there. And that is pretty much it. If the gray on the sleeves look a little too bright, just go back down with some Chaos Black or Abaddon Black and feather in that random looking pattern, or cover it completely and just leave it as it is. I think it looks kind of interesting, like light reflecting off of the arm, as I said. So this is the color scheme for a guy from Nuln. If you're interested in doing that army, just black and red, and if you're using red as a spot color, which you should, then using Carroburg Crimson to shade it makes it look really good, really brings out that deep, rich color to it. So thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next video.